Business news from the Capital Region. This is Washington Business Report with ABC7 national correspondent Rebecca Cooper.
Thanks for joining us for this week's look at what's making news and who's making news in business and finance. On today's show, a former Wall Street analyst now teaches executives how to improve performance in the workplace. Today, she's here to teach a new way to listen if you want to lead or simply do well in the workplace. And in the roundtable, Virginia's play for the Redskins and DC United, a red card or a winning goal. Plus, we'll talk about that magic train ride Larry Hogan took in Tokyo this week. The Maryland governor seems convinced levitating between Baltimore and DC could be a big boost for business. But will it cost this region the purple line? We'll have that and more with the Washington Post's Robert McCartney. But first, the executive who describes himself as a bit of an oddity, an Excel nerd with an engineering background now paired with more than a decade of experience in corporate operations, marketing, and startups. Now the former field engineer is COO of one of Washington's fastest growing companies, Event Farm, the tech world's answer to better party planning. This company has made even congressional get-togethers seem cool. We know how hard that is to do. And with revenue doubling each of the last 3 years, it's a party we wanted an exclusive invite to. Joining us now, Brennan McReynolds, Chief Operating Officer at Event Farm. Brennan, thanks for joining us. I got to know more about Event Farm during White House Correspondents' Dinner Week. It's a big week where everyone tries to outdo each other with the best parties. And I have to say, count me impressed. I didn't even make it to your party. There were so many that week. And just from what I saw, it seemed like a big deal. You all are this company that tries to take parties from the beginning to the middle to the end and add new layers, new elements, new technology. Tell us about Event Farm. What do you do?
So, Rebecca, Event Farm is a software company that streamlines the invitation, RCP, and check-in process for events. So, very basic business tool that at the core of what we do is all about brand and experiences and also collecting and understanding how people interact and engage at events.
So that part seems to be more central to your success than simply the software. You definitely have it down for how people can check into events, RSVP to events, but the thing that seems to set you apart is kind of that added disco ball element that makes everything cool. Talk to us a little bit about some of the parties you've done and how it plays out. I think we've got some video of the Congressional New Members Party that you all hosted, and that had a lot of different elements into it that made it not your average Washington party. Talk a little bit about that party.
Exactly. I mean, at the core of our company is we are event producers. We built the software, and the technology itself is there to help guests understand one another and interact with the event. Engage with different experiences where they can collect information about the event, about sponsors, about partners, about one another. At the same time, those that are hosting the event, like ourselves or our congressional partners, actually get information about how guests are interacting at the event. So it's a more enriching environment. It's more fun for the guest itself, but it's also more interesting from a data standpoint as well. And you're collecting meaningful, data points and insights about your guests and what they did and who they talked to.
So when you're hosting that kind of an event and you're providing that kind of access to data, does that mean you can have more corporate sponsors for your event, or how do you, as the host for the party, gain from giving out that kind of information about your guests?
So typically, our goal is to empower our clients to think of creative ways to create interesting ways to interact with the event, with their brand, with their sponsors. So you could have a wall that has, instead of giving out a gift bag, you have a
Let's take a look at that video. This is from the new media party that you hosted White House Correspondents' Dinner Week. That's one of the walls, but you're also talking about another wall that's going to be coming up. But this is your content globe that you're going to be explaining to us. It's a new way to interact on the dance floor, an audio bar that's a new way to drink with surround sound, and then the gifting wall. And this is really interesting to me. So talk to us about the cards that guests are given when they arrive in an event and how they use something like that at something like the gifting wall.
Sure. So, most guests, it's not uncommon to get a credential, whether it's a wristband or it's a badge when you get to the event. But this badge, in fact, has an NFC antenna in it. So near field communication, just like Easy Pass or tapping when you get in your taxi cab.
So you're emitting data as you walk around the party with that card.
So we call it heads-up engagement. If I see Rebecca doing this in an event, I want to do that too. I'm curious. We're curious people. We want to interact with each other. We want to engage. And if you see a wall and you go up and says tap here, you're going to tap there. That's what we do. We want to see it. But then your name comes back to you.
So this gifting wall, let's back up though. The gifting wall is in lieu of gift bags. We've all gone to parties. People magazine is one of the great parties at White House Correspondents' Dinner Week, because you leave with this 30-pound bag full of cool things, even like new brands of peanut butter.
Right.
This is in lieu of getting a bag. You get this and you hold it up to the wall, and it literally gives you a gift directly to your card. Explain that to me.
Well, it triggers an email or a text that can be sent to you as a guest with, in this case, for that party, Lyft was our title sponsor. So everybody got a coupon code to get a Lyft ride home, safe ride home after a night of drinking and having fun. In some cases, it was a playlist of the band that just played that night. So it's really whatever content a sponsor or partner wants to share with their guests as they ask for it. So you're not forcing anything upon somebody. It's, I want this, and then you get it back. So it's just kind of reciprocal giving.
And it's not all corporate branding, it's also just branding of the event.
Exactly.
That content globe that was over the dance floor literally would come down as music played, and people would do what with the globe?
Right. Well, it would kind of draw your interest, because you see this globe coming down from above you. So you reach up with your, with your asset, it says tap here, and when you tap that, it actually sends you the track of the band that's playing on the stage right now. So you're enjoying the music, you're enjoying the experience, you want to learn more, and it gives you this interactive way to do that. Now, of course, some people could do that on their phones, but you don't know if I'm on my phone right now, if I'm texting my girlfriend, or if I'm learning about the event. So this is interactive, it's fun, it's high energy.
So I've taken up so much time talking about all these party tricks that I love that I want to spend a little bit of time that we have left talking about the company itself.
Sure.
Who founded it, and where are you all in terms of your growth plan?
Sure. So we are founded here in DC. We've been a public-facing company for 4 years, so selling our software. But the software actually predates the company. So our two co-founders are Georgetown computer science grads, Ryan Costello and Todd Cornett, and they were also producing events. So they started creating our software for their own event. They were producing called the Congressional Blues Festival, for those that have been in DC and are familiar with that event. That was our event. We produced that event. The software was built for that event. And the sponsors of that event started asking for, hey, what was that software you guys used to plan your own event? Could we use that for our event? And that's when that switch flipped. It's like, wow, hold on, we might have something here. So that was 4 years ago that we turned into a public-facing, B2B event marketing platform.
And the reach is beyond DC. Tell us a little bit about where you are positioned right now in the market.
So we have events and clients all over the globe. We're in seven languages.
I had to notice, you've got an impressive list of clients. Tick off some of them, but I'll tell you the one that impressed my family the most.
I mean, the one that we're most proud of is Facebook's probably one of our longest time clients. 3 years ago, they called and said, we want to use your platform.
But you've got some old school clients. You've got JP Morgan and others.
We have JP Morgan, we have Salesforce and Yahoo and Google. So we're very privileged to have a great client list, and they're great partners, and we're learning from one another. And when Facebook called 3 years ago, we said, well, they have events in their system and they have all kinds of money developers. Why would they want to use us? But because this platform is built out of our own pain points, and we grew a solution for the industry, and people appreciate our approach to it.
Tell us who the founder is, CEO that you work closely with.
Yeah, so Ryan Costello is our CEO and co-founder, and we're here in DC and then also out on the West Coast.
It's a great story to keep track of, and someday you're going to have to come back and tell me how you got Chelsea Football Club, one of England's greatest soccer teams. Very impressive. Very impressive with all that you guys are accomplishing. Brennan McReynolds, thanks for coming on Washington Business Report and showing us how it's done.
Thanks, Rebecca.